Filing taxes is boring. Trust me, I know. But what happens if we just, you know, don't file them? What's going to happen? Do we go to jail? Do we get euthanized? Well, keep in mind, filing taxes and paying taxes are not the same thing. They're different. You see, the IRS just wants to get paid, and we generally want to file tax returns in order to reconcile and confirm what we would actually owe in tax. You see, for example, let's say our tax liability comes out to $5,000. Now, let's say we work W-2 jobs, we are employees, we have withholdings coming out of our paychecks, and those withholdings throughout the year came out to $4,500. Or if you're self-employed, you had estimated payments. Now, right off the bat, we see that $4,500 is not enough to surpass $5,000. So there's a $500 gap, a liability that's going to sit there. And let's just say we just didn't file taxes. Well, what happens? Once the IRS matches our records and says, okay, wait a minute, we've only gotten $4,500 of payments, but you actually owed $5,000. Now, that's a big if because, again, if you watch my other videos about IRS, the IRS only knows our gross income. They don't know our deductions and credits. So maybe in theory, we only owe $5,000 if we filed a return, but the IRS may think we owe $6,000. So that gap is bigger. So again, that's usually why we want to file taxes. But either way, let's say there's a $500 gap that the IRS catches. They're going to send a letter for that. If we didn't file, there's also going to be a penalty for non-filing. And well, that $500 begins to grow in terms of what we owe. Now let's look at it from the opposite perspective. Our tax liability is still $5,000. And the sum of our withholdings and or estimated payments came out to $5,500. I think we all can agree $5,500 is more than $5,000 by $500. Now, unlike if we were under $500 where the IRS would catch it and send us a bill for, again, interest and penalties, if we were over by $500 and we didn't file, the IRS is not going to cut that $500 check to us because, again, they don't know how much that we are eligible to get back unless they have a tax return on hand. Now, the sad reality is I've come across many people, both actual clients and just people talking online, that will say something to the effect of, well, I haven't filed taxes in years and they haven't come after me, so obviously it's not a big deal. Well, more than likely, you're probably in one of two categories. Either A, those years that you did file taxes, you were underpaid, and the IRS just hasn't caught it yet. Keep in mind, the IRS is utilizing more AI and automation to detect discrepancies, and very well, it could have slipped through the cracks. But again, they are trying to catch up on those. But more than likely, probably 90+% of the time, it seems, you fell in group B, where you truly actually overpaid or overwithheld, what you actually needed to. And absent a tax return, they can't issue a refund. So if you are someone, again, that hasn't filed and you haven't heard anything from the IRS, you might be in group B. So do me a favor, pause this video, get off the computer, and go try to file your taxes or meet with an accountant because you probably got some money that's coming your way. So yeah,